The first invasions of the Jutes from Jutland, Angles from south of Denmark, and the Saxons from Germany begins. Britain is divided up into the 7 kingdoms of Northumbria, Mercia, Anglia, Wessex, Essex, Sussex, and Kent. St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland. He was born in Roman Britain in the late 4th century and was kidnapped at the age of 16 and taken to Ireland as a slave. He later escaped but returned to Ireland about 432 CE to convert the Irish to Christianity. He is credited with bringing Christianity to the people of Ireland. King Ethelbert of Kent gave him land in Canterbury to build a church. Ethelbert became the first Anglo-Saxon king to turn his back on paganism and become Christian. In 795, Vikings attacked the island monastery of Iona, Scotland. Iona was attacked more than once. It was attacked again in 802 AD, and then once more in 806 AD. Egbert, king of the West Saxons, conquers Mercia and forces the Northumbrians to submit as well. From then on, Wessex retained its dominance in England. Egbert's grandson, Alfred, initiated the creation of the single Kingdom of England. Sources suggest that around 843 AD, the Kingdom of Scotland was formed by Scots and the Picts making peace and forming this new kingdom. In 851, Athelstan, the son of the King of Wessex, defeats a Viking fleet in a decisive sea battle. Egbert, King of Wessex, had made his second son Athelstan King of Kent. According to the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, Athelstan fought a sea battle against the Vikings off Sandwich. He captured 9 ships and scuttled the rest of the Viking fleet. In 869, Edmund, King of the East Angles, is killed by the Vikings. He was beheaded and his head was thrown away so there could be no proper burial. His head was finally found and reunited with the body, and both were buried in the royal residence, which later became known as Bury St Edmunds, a town in East Anglia. The year is 877, and Welsh King Rhodri Mawera is defeated by the Vikings. He leaves and heads to Ireland. The year is 886, and England now stands divided. Alfred, King of Wessex, agrees a treaty with the Vikings to divide England. The Saxons retain the west, while the east, between the Thames and Tees rivers, was to be Viking territory. This later became known as the Danelaw, where English and Danish Vikings were equal in law. This isn't Shakespeare, so when you ask what's in a name, you won't get a flowery, metaphor-filled answer. We are talking Vikings, and the names are usually self-explanatory. Eric Bloodaxe is no exception to this rule. A nickname such as Bloodaxe or Brother Slayer gives off the impression of a volatile and brutal man. This fits Eric Bloodaxe, also known as the Brother Slayer, perfectly. A horrifying, ruthless name for a man who was known to be quite a merciless ruler every time he ruled a kingdom. Edgar ruled England from 959 to 975 AD, but it was not until 973 AD, 2 years before his death, that he organised a solemn coronation and anointing. Edward, the oldest son of Edgar, was crowned King of England. He was not a popular man and was murdered at Corfe in Dorset 3 years later. Ethelred becomes the new king. He was Edward's half-brother. The son of the Danish king Harold Bluetooth, Sweyn Forkbeard, forces Ethelred the Unready into exile. This now throws England under Danish control. Edward II, also known as Edward the Confessor, becomes the King of England. Harold Godwinson, also called Harold II, was the last crowned Anglo-Saxon English king. Harold, Earl of Wessex, was crowned King of England on the 6th of January 1066. He was immediately faced with powerful threats. 2 other families had laid claim to the English throne. They were William, Duke of Normandy, and Harold Hardrada, King of Norway. If you have enjoyed this presentation, then please leave a like, a comment and subscribe to enjoy all that TheMunkterFiles has to offer.